Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this special coverage on Nile TV International. As we have been seeing today, the International Historic Summit that was held in Sharm el-Sheikh under the auspices of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and the U.S. President Donald Trump. We are going to shed more light on this historic summit, and we have over the phone with us Mr. Ahmad Sharaf Eldin, the political analyst. Good evening, Mr. Ahmad.
Well, good evening. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being with us tonight on Nile TV International. Mr. Ahmed, we have been seeing this historic summit today, and the president have made a historic summit, and more than 20 countries were actually there. So can you give us your opinion and your view on today's summit and how it looks on the international field?
Very, very historic moment, as you said. The peace agreement signed today in Sharm el-Sheikh represents a significant milestone in the ongoing efforts to bring stability to the region and that has suffered from decades of conflict, political instability, and humanitarian crises. Taking place in one of Egypt's most symbolic cities, renowned and famous for hosting major diplomatic summits and high-level international gatherings, this agreement underscores the enduring power of diplomacy as a strategic instrument for resolving conflicts in the Middle East. Sharm el-Sheikh has long served as a neutral and a trusted platform for dialogue, reconciliation, and also forward-looking negotiations. So by bringing together key regional stakeholders, international mediators, and political leaders from different ideological backgrounds, today's agreement aims to pave the way for sustainable peace and cycle violence and lay the groundwork for a new phase of cooperation between different parties. The timing of such agreement is particularly crucial. The region has recently experienced escalating instability marked by intense military operations, widespread displacement, and a deepening humanitarian crisis. The entire communities have been torn apart by violence, infrastructure has been severely damaged, and the political landscape has become more fragmented than ever. Against this backdrop, Sharm el-Sheikh peace deal functions on multiple levels. First, it offers a structured political pathway out of prolonged confrontation rather than relying on temporary truces or ad hoc humanitarian pauses. So this agreement provides a comprehensive framework that involves phased security arrangements, humanitarian guarantees, and mechanisms for political dialogue. Second, it signals to the international community that regional actors are ready to assume leadership in shaping their destiny rather than remaining passive recipients of external initiatives. Third, it opens the door to economic reconstruction, a large-scale humanitarian operations that are essential for building long-term peace and stability. So, in my humble opinion, what's happening today in Sharm el-Sheikh is really resonating globally. So, amid increasing calls from the UN, the European Union, the African Union, the major world powers for de-escalation and the revival of peace negotiations, we can see that the Sharm el-Sheikh agreement demonstrates that diplomacy can still produce tangible outcomes when there is sufficient political will. It sends a powerful message to millions affected by the conflict that hope is not lost and that the pursuit of peace remains a viable alternative to endless confrontation.
Yes. Dr. Ahmed, Sharm el-Sheikh had been picked as the country to host this historic international summit, and Sharm el-Sheikh was always promoted as the city of peace. So how do you evaluate the president's choice of picking Sharm el-Sheikh to be the place where this historic summit is being held? What kind of message is this is it being sent to the world through this choice?
Very clear message to the whole world. The message that Egypt is sending is that, as a historic advocate of the regional stability and one of the few countries maintaining strong diplomatic channels with all relevant parties, Egypt has utilized its unique geopolitical position to mediate between conflicting sides with the skill and patience. So, over the past several weeks, Egyptian negotiators have conducted intensive rounds of shuttle diplomacy, traveling between capitals, holding closed-door meetings, and maintaining continuous communication with international powers. Cairo's approach has been characterized by a careful balance between firmness on crucial security issues such as border control, ceasefire monitoring, and disarmament guarantees, and flexibility on humanitarian and political dimensions.
Yes.
Such dual strategy ensures that the agreement addresses both the urgent needs on the ground and the long-term objectives of sustainable governance and regional security. So Egypt's diplomatic credibility stems from its long history of engagement in the Arab-Israeli mediation, its pivotal role in previous ceasefire agreements, and its pragmatic ability to maintain dialogue with diverse actors. Egyptian intelligence and foreign ministry teams have spent months and months laying the groundwork for such a deal, coordinating closely with other regional actors such as Qatar, Turkey, United States, European partners, while also consulting with various Palestinian factions and Israeli officials.
Yes.
Their efforts bridge the gaps that external mediators often find it insurmountable, highlighting Egypt's unique capacity to act as a trusted intermediate negotiator. That is something that we need to consider. So, by positioning itself as the main diplomatic engine behind the agreement, Egypt again reaffirms its leadership role as a cornerstone of Middle East stability.
Yes, Dr. Ahmed, we are still talking about the Egyptian role. Now that we have an achievement that is actually completed in the international summit, we have finally made peace. We have achieved a ceasefire in the region now. So what can we be anticipating once this agreement now is implemented?
Well, I think what we can just anticipate now is we are looking for more progress when it comes to the humanitarian aspect. We are looking for stability happening in the region. On the political level, it can also set the stage for more structured negotiations on long-standing issues that have fueled cycles of violence for decades, such as territorial disputes, governance arrangements, and the status of key cities and holy sites. The humanitarian implications of such agreements are equally significant. So by establishing safe humanitarian corridors and coordinated delivery mechanisms, aid organizations will be able to operate more efficiently, reaching vulnerable population with food, medicine, and essential supplies.
Yes.
This will not only alleviate immediate suffering, but will also build public confidence in the peace process.
Yes, Dr. Ahmed, actually now that the ceasefire is implemented and Israel have received their hostages that have been held hostage in Gaza for over 2 years, and more than 1,700 Palestinian hostages as well were returned home. So what could be the challenges in front of the coming period?
I think that one of the major challenges is just to keep and to hold such agreements, and also to find a way to build the trust. This is something very, very important, and also to reinforce the security concepts and the ceasefire, and also because, as you know, that many peace agreements sometimes fail not because of the content, but because of the weak implementation structure. So, and as you know, that this deal involved multiple phases like ceasefire, stabilization, humanitarian access, political dialogue, reconstruction. So we need to consider all of these elements. Let me just say also something else. It's more also about the humanitarian and reconstruction challenges. The agreement's credibility will partly hinge on whether people on the ground see tangible improvement in their daily life. So this depends on a massive and well-coordinated humanitarian and reconstruction efforts, which probably could face also many, many obstacles, like, for example, infrastructure damage, like mismanagement that can undermine the trust in reconstruction programs. We need to consider also another important part, which is the partial success that could lead to the stalemate. So the bottom line, the challenges in this deal are not insurmountable, but they are serious. The agreement's success will depend on clear mechanisms, credible guarantees, inclusive political engagement, and rapid humanitarian impact to build the momentum. And I'm very confident that Egypt's leadership, combined with consistent international backing and strong monitoring structures, will be central in navigating all of these challenges.
Yes, Dr. Ahmad Sharaf Eldin, the political analyst, thank you very much for being with us tonight on Nile TV International. As we have seen, ladies and gentlemen, on this special coverage, we had the political analyst with us, Dr. Ahmad Sharaf Eldin, and he spoke with us about the great summit, the historic international summit that was held today in Sharm el-Sheikh city, the city of peace, and the final agreement was achieved, finally signed by President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and U.S. President Donald Trump, the Qatari Emir Hamad Tamim bin Hamad, and the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Stay tuned for more updates on the matter, and thank you for watching.